Hi everyone, it's Jody from An Eye for Beauty, and today is Saturday, September 13th, 2025. We are going to look at the weekly energy coming in for the middle of September, and we are going to take a minute to talk about last week's energy. So, I hope you're doing well. The thing that I want to start with really and I have notes here because there's so much in my head that I want to share because it all is like putting together a piece of the puzzle. Now, everything that we're going to talk about here is energy, okay, for the most part. So we had the eclipse energy that came in last week from Pisces, and we have the eclipse energy from Pisces last week to the new moon that is coming on September 21st in Virgo. We had the 999 portal, September 9th, 2025. Each number is 9, and 2025 is a 9 year, so 999. 9 represents endings, completion of a cycle. We always have 9-year cycles in our lives, and this is a completion of collectively a 9-year cycle. So it's important to look at where you were from 2016 to where you are today. Would the 2016 version of yourself look at the 2025 version of yourself and be surprised? I'm sure the answer is yes. So first thing I want you to do is give yourself a hug or give yourself a pat on the back because you have walked a 9-year cycle that has been out of control. And that is on an energetic, collective level. And then, of course, what you experienced on your own personal level, I know for me, it was definitely the same, very similar. So you probably feel the same way. We are at this point of karmic clearing. We have to clear out the karma of whatever we have been experiencing that is no longer serving the collective. So I did pull some cards off camera, but before I even go to those cards, I did take this deck and I want to see where they want us to begin, and then we'll go from there. What I will say is we have been majorly out of balance, out of sync is what I'm hearing. And we are hopefully, we're not starting off at the best start, but we hopefully are going to get ourselves in sync as a collective. Okay. I have 2 cards here, and they're both intentional cards. And the intention is discovery. So when you're starting a new cycle, it's a beginning. It's like, ooh, I'm curious. Discovery of a new beginning. Where do I want to begin? And then there's this card, behind the mask. Okay. So now let's talk about what happened last week. You know what happened last week. I'm not going to say specifically what happened because I do not want this to be taken down. It's bad enough. This is definitely not seen like it should be. So you know what happened. Now I want you to think about where it happened. And the card that comes up is the throat chakra. And the throat chakra, when it is in, when it's in the open space, when it is open, the throat chakra is what I'm trying to say. See, I can't even speak. That's the throat chakra. A lot of times, and what we have been working on as a collective is speaking our truth. Now, a lot of times people have been speaking truth in a very inverted way, or they have been speaking truth not in the highest timeline. People think that if they speak truth in a judgmental way, or speak truth in a blaming way, or speak truth in a, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm hearing confrontational, and we definitely have been having that, but that's not what I wanted to say. When people have been in a victim, in a lack mentality, in a, you did this to me, it's your fault that I have gone through this. That is not when the throat chakra is at its highest vibe. Do you see how I can't speak? This is being tongue-tied. This is when the throat chakra is not in its highest state. Now we're supposed to be ending karmic clearing of this. I want you to think about along the years how much has gone on with regards to self-expression, authentically speaking your truth, not in a judgmental way, but more of an observing way. How many people have actually done that without the blaming, without the, it's because of you that this happened. We have really been set up to express ourselves in the most authentic version. Here's the next card that comes out. Throat chakra, authenticity, self-expression. And yet there are many that have failed. And after what happened on Wednesday, there are many that still have failed the test. Now, what do I mean by a test? When we are on the spiritual journey, it is not rainbows and unicorns. It is not easy. It is really looking in the mirror, looking at yourself, not looking at anything outside of yourself. Looking within and working on clearing whatever you need to be clearing, whatever shadows need to come up. Maybe you were judgmental, but from 2016 to today, you look at the different version of yourself and say, wow, I've come so far. I've learned not to react. I've learned to pause and step back. I've learned not to immediately go into my head with a logical response. I've learned to step back and go into my heart. That's the next card. Healing codes have been coming our way, asking us to heal any wounds within our personal energy, but more importantly, within the collective energy. And one of the biggest things in our collective energy is with regards to the throat chakra. Because anyone that has had a big platform, that has spoken their truth, the truth, has spoken the truth, they are called names. They are called, they're told that what they're saying is not right, when maybe that is exactly how they feel in their heart, or they've been taken out. We're at a point in the collective where we do not fully accept everyone. And I say we, I don't mean me, I don't mean you, I mean as a collective. And then we have this card, Behind the Mask. Because what happened on Wednesday really gave everyone the opportunity to see who someone really is. And it gave each individual person the opportunity to look in the mirror and not see their earthly suit, but see their higher self. And if you can look in the mirror and be okay with one of your own, because we are a collective and we are all connected, being taken out, then you have a lot of work to do and a lot to look at within your heart space. And a lot to look at with why you think that, why you feel, I'm not even going to say think, feel that that is an okay way to feel. We have been working on this, for the last 5 years, but I'm going to keep coming back to the 9-year cycle. But if you really think about it, this all started in 2020, when we really began the journey of getting out of the head and getting into the heart. You might have heard the term New Earth. And what that meant was, not the earth is like collapsing and then a new earth is going to spring about, but that on the same ground, Mother Earth, there are going to be people living 3D and people living 5D. Now, what's the difference? And I have it written down so that I didn't forget, because when you channel information, it's hard to sometimes remember what you need to say. 3-dimensional way of being is how we've been for a very long time. And that is fear, that is separation, that is division, and that is lack. I'm a victim. You wronged me. I'm a victim. That is being in the ego and needing external validation. That is, I'm successful because I make $200,000 a year and I'm a vice president of a company, etc. That is 3-dimensional. 3-dimensional is relationships that are abusive, that are toxic, that are codependent. 3-dimensional is when your nervous system is constantly in fight or flight. 3-dimensional is when you think you're being spiritual, but you're bypassing, you think it's rainbows and unicorns, you're bypassing what's really going on. 3-dimensional is when you get stuck in a loop of constant drama, which we can easily do if we're constantly doom scrolling. And I fear for our younger generation that if they don't get their heads out of their phones, that is a potential. And that is because we are being programmed if we allow it. And so we need to get off the social media, stop watching the news, because when we're doing that, we can be easily programmed, especially if we're still in 3D, especially if we still have that mask on. 3D is when you react instead of reflecting. Now, we have been given the opportunity on September 10th, before anything happened, for renewal. And what is renewal? Renewal is when you review the past with compassion and forgiveness, when you head in a new direction, when you have clarity, when you're in your heart, and then that's when you know what to do. Look at the flags. Just look at the colors, the red flag and then the blue flag. So the red flag is like, you know what a red flag is. And then the blue flag is more like what they call a green flag. Really, it's like that is the direction of a higher vibration. Now remember, we have the discovery card. And discovery is really because we still have been given the opportunity September 10th to start this process of going into the heart of all-encompassing love, of peace and serenity and unconditional acceptance. And if you notice all of this light, this is the same light, the white, big white light that has been coming in for the last couple of weeks that we've been blasted with in the Schumann resonance. Because we are being, light is shining on us, but with light really shines on the darkness. Okay? How many people can look at in the mirror at themselves, at their higher selves, and be okay with hating? How many can still do that? Because that is not where the collective is going. And when you're stuck in 3D and you don't get yourself out of it, and everybody else is going to 5D and you're not going to feel okay, because you're going to be far and few between. Because more people, and I know why more people are going into the heart and have been doing the work, because of this. So on Wednesday at 12 o'clock Eastern time, everything happened at around 3. At 12 o'clock Eastern time, I felt such a heaviness in my heart, such a weight, like a panic attack. I don't have panic attacks, like doom. I felt what was coming, but I had no idea that it had to do with the world. I thought it was like me personally, or I'm going through menopause, so it's that. That's what I always think. Everything's menopause. Well, then we found out what happened. Then when I was looking on social media, there were so many people that said the same thing. And the next day I had such a heaviness in my heart. I couldn't even sleep. And so many people felt the same way. People far and wide in different countries, all over the world, felt that energy. Because everyone, first of all, we are all connected. Remember that. Even the people that are spewing hate, they're still part of us, even though they have not done the work. But so many people felt that heaviness in their heart because we truly are connected. We are a consciousness and we are all one. So to think that someone could be okay with that happening is very sad, but it also brings down the collective consciousness. And that is why I always say to you, do your work, because each individual is helping to raise the collective. So don't let that get you down. Don't get angry at it. Just keep raising your vibration and raising yourself for the collective to rise. How do you do that? You pray. You get out of your head and you get into the heart, and then you do these things. 5D. What is 5D? Where are you heading if you've been doing the work? You are heading into truth, into love, and into unity. You are heading into observing versus judging. I want you to think about this before I continue, because they're wanting me to make sure I say this. It doesn't matter what side you are on in politics. And obviously, if you're in a different country, you have different politics. Matters what's going on here and how you handle it. So no matter what side, if you are blaming, if you are angry, if you are spewing words, like derogatory words at the other side, you are just as much at fault. You are not helping to rise the collective. You are continuing, you are causing it, not continuing, causing it to stay lower. So if you are one that wants to raise the vibration of the collective, then you need to do your individual work to not react, but to step back and observe. Not to blame, but to pray and get into the heart. Because that is going to raise the collective. That does not mean you condone anything, and that does not mean that you have bad behavior. I mean, you condone bad behavior. But what it means is that you stay more in alignment with your true, authentic, higher version of yourself to help raise your vibration and the vibration of the collective. Because then you're in alignment with your soul. You're in alignment with calm and peace. You will have relationships that are heart-centered and that are sovereign. Your nervous system will feel grounded, will feel calm, and will feel peaceful. And you know that the power lies within you because you have a direct connection with God. God is the creator of all of us, regardless. And I want you to remember that as well, just in case you forgot. Okay. So, is there anything else that we need to touch upon? Let's just get a message here before we end today from Spirit, just to guide anyone that wants guidance, anyone that's still feeling it. I feel better. I mean, I'm very upset about what happened, but I feel better in my body because I did not like how that felt at all. I want you to know also, they wanted me to tell you this, is that if you are experiencing any body stuff, colds, coughs, sore throats, headaches, belly stuff, like digestion stuff. This is all part of the let it go, let it out. Don't get caught up in it. Just let it happen and flow through your body because you are clearing. We are all as a collective up for renewal. So your body's trying to detoxify and renew. Allow it. Don't complain about it. When you complain, if you remember last week's message, you keep reverberating it right back to you. Okay, this is our final message from Spirit. Things are stirred up and change is upon you. This is cause for celebration. No need to be nervous, but know that it's okay to be afraid when faced with uncertainties. The funny thing is that courage doesn't get mustered in the absence of fear, but rather in spite of it or even because of it. Step into the unknown now. Let go of the branch that you are clinging onto and let Spirit take the wheel and help steer you to your highest good and your most wonderful adventure. All you need to concern yourself with is choosing courage as your ally. Leave the rest up to us. There is a load of miracles being shipped your way. And remember that when you are in discovery, look how he's looking curiously at whatever he's holding. That's how I want you to look at things from this moment on. Can you commit to that for yourself? There are going to be things that happen around us in the world. I want you to pray and call upon your army of angels, Archangel Michael, and then from there, anyone else you want to add in. He is the bodyguard. But stay in your heart and don't close off your throat. We have come to the culmination of that karmic cycle. You can speak your truth. You should speak your truth as long as it's safe and it's loving and it's compassionate and it's kind. Then do it. Be in alignment with your heart and be in alignment with your higher self. Stop looking outside of yourself for validation or anything else. Okay, guys, I hope that this message helps you this week, and I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.